My name is Diane Raymond. I served in the U.S. Army from 1977 to 1980. So this was just after Vietnam. I was stationed with some Vietnam veterans, and they got me very close to the Vietnam War because they were having reactions to the war. For example, some post-traumatic stress disorder issues. I was very young, and when they would have like a flashback, they would scare me because I did not know what was happening. And that led me to start studying personal stories about war. There's a lot of books out there that are very raw, very real. I wanted to understand why somebody who was normally just a really normal, nice guy person would all of a sudden, out of the blue, just sort of flip out and be back in Vietnam. Then I got away from the military. Put that whole part of my past behind me. I got involved in the aviation industry, and I spent 10 years of my life helping to build the Apache attack helicopter. When I was working on this project, I thought it was the coolest thing I could possibly be doing. This is an amazing weapon. It's an amazing piece of equipment. And I did not connect to the fact that what I was doing for a living was building a machine whose only purpose was to kill and terrorize people. Some people say it can be a peacemaking machine. Well, it's a peacemaking machine only by using terror to hold people back.
My name's Amy Allison. I was a combat medic, 91 Alpha with the Army Reserves for 6 years. My unit was in Sunnyvale, and for most of that time that I was in the service, I took care of veterans. And it was mainly my experience caring for veterans from Vietnam and Korean War that caused me to become opposed to war as an institution or a way of nations dealing with conflict. Because I saw long term, after the parades were over and after the news coverage is focused on something else, I saw what happened to the men and women who were left in their beds, pieces of people physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I can only imagine the people in the countries that we fight wars, the decades of impact. So as a trained medical professional, I came to the place where my conscience wouldn't allow me to support any role in the war.
My name is Diana Morrison. I joined the military in 1986 when I was 17. I served 3 years on active duty as a military policewoman. I joined the California National Guard in 1996, also as an MP. Deployed to Germany and Italy and Dominican Republic and various other places, the most recent being Iraq in 2003. It's kind of changed my view about everything, actually, about my country, about my place in the military. I thought when I went over there that it would be a humanitarian mission, and it wasn't. I never did anything for Iraqis. My direct involvement in the war is really what has formed my view, and that's, a lot of people have just always been anti-war, and maybe I've always been anti-war, and it actually took being in a war to realize that. Every time I hear the president say, we're fighting terrorists over there, meaning Iraq, so that we don't have to fight them here, all I can think about are the people the Iraqi people that I met, the family that offered us their dinner, to share their dinner when we went in to search their house looking for suspected terrorists. The kids that wanted my camera when I was out on patrol. And they're just people. I mean, I see no bad in them and no necessarily inherently good in them. I just see people. Like if you're walking down the streets of San Francisco, I don't see these people anymore as any more terrorist threat than you would view maybe your neighbor or the people you ride the BART train with. I think I find it extremely disturbing every time I hear we're fighting terrorists. The only terrorists I see are us, the United States.
Lies rusting in the water, the dreams of the children drift down the Mississippi as the old folks drink a beer and talk of yesterday. I looked at each name and read it long and slow. I looked for Vietnam, didn't anybody go? And I wondered as I looked at the names that had fallen in the dust that had settled, are they now forgotten?